Well, welcome everybody to another edition of MLW 2006 here in TEW 2020, and yes, it's time for our first big show here on Univision. It's time for the Battle Riot 2006, live from the Miami Beach Civic Center, with in front of 5,000 people, and we start off, of course, with Kevin Kelly and Steve Corino going over all the big matches, including Morishima versus Loki for the title, Sydal versus McGuinness for the number one contendership, the tag title match, and both men give their prediction for the Battle Riot. Of course, Corino goes with his fellow Extreme Horseman member Simon Diamond, while Kevin Kelly goes for an underdog, Sanjay Dutt, as this gets a 56. And we go to the ring, where Nikki Roxx comes out in for an open challenge, and like you said, she wanted to challenge any woman in the world to come out here and face me. And then some interesting sort of like techno music hits, and then out comes, well, Trish Stratus. Crowd pops huge as Trish Stratus, who's not been seen in a couple months in wrestling since she left WWE, is now here in Major League Wrestling. Corino even marks out, even though he's a heel, Kevin Kelly says this is a huge moment for women's wrestling here in Major League Wrestling, as one of the best women's wrestler on earth is now here in Major League Wrestling. And Trish debuts her Big Huge Star, which gets a great, and there we go, 53, as Nikki Roxx is still not that greatly over, and now it's time for them to actually wrestle. So yeah. I think I mentioned in the comments that I might have a big signing, and there we go. Like, I was surprised, A, she signed for me, and B, that she was even available. And, since we're doing a women's division, why not sign for Trish Stratus in 2006? So there we go. So then it's time for the actual match, as in a bout had superb wrestling, and great heat, Trish Stratus defeats Nikki Roxx in 7:47 by pinfall with a chick kick. This gets a 67. Decent back and forth match. Trish gets an 89. Nikki Roxx gets a 53. Oh, right. And yeah, Jason Ayers is one of our monthly or bi-monthly hirings. But yeah, so decent little match. You can guess what I actually rated this on, not actual wrestling skill, because why not? It's still 2006. But they do this in the ring. Trish, Nikki Roxx gets some heel moments in. But, Trish Stratus is a huge, massive star, and she gets the win. 7:47 hits chick kick, nowhere for Nikki to go. 1, 2, 3, and she gets a pinfall victory in her debut here in Major League Wrestling. And after the match, Trish Stratus celebrates as the fans pop to a 67. Fun times. So yeah, a big moment here. Trish Stratus makes her debut here in MLW, and she won't be the only debut tonight. And then we continue on with Melina Perez coming out with the Maximos, and she announces that their opponents are two men who have been tearing up the undergrounds of wrestling and barroom brawls and illegal pit fighting all over the world for the past couple of years, and she's brought them into Major League Wrestling. Well, she's brought them in to compete against the Maximos Major League Wrestling. They are Nox and Turkey. So yeah, Mike Nox and Turkey make their debut in MLW as a tag team. They get a 31. Their gimmicks get a great and very good. So good stuff for that. And role gimmick and psychology. So good stuff. And then the actual match happens, which gets a 36, which is actually better than I thought. So what happens here is near the end of the match, the SAT are doing their double teams moves, and they're doing their best to fight against Nox and Turkey, but Nox and Turkey are two big SOBs. And then, they're getting some advantage, and, Joel is going up to the top rope for another, basically, they've hit 2 or 3, big dives and drop kicks and flying moves. Both men have on Nox when Joel goes up top one more time, and then Lena simply goes over and decides it's time to reveal things. As she shakes the ropes, Joel falls down, Nox picks Maxwell's up, Nox kills him with the Nox out. 1, 2, 3, Nox and Turkey win. This gets a 36 overall. Turkey gets a 35, Nox gets a 28, Joel gets a 41, Jose gets a 45, and yes, it turns out this was all a big giant scam on Melina's part, as she walks out with Nox and Turkey, which gets a 33. Big moment here as Nox and Turkey make their debut. Melina turns heel, even though it turns out she was never really a babyface, on the Maximos, and now we have some big monsters here in the tag team division. 33, decent. Like, again, these guys aren't over yet. Lynn isn't over yet. But, that's part of the fun, is to build them up. So, good times for everybody. Well, not the Maximus, but everybody else. Then we have our tag team title match. As in a decent match, the Stampede Bulldogs defeat Featured Attraction in 1327 rather, when Harry Smith pins Earl Clark with a springboard heart attack, and the Stampede Bulldogs win the MLW Global Tag Team Crown titles. So again, back and forth match. Stampede Bulldogs that do their, do their tag team action. Go back to the dungeon with some technical skills. Harry Smith throws both men around, power slams, clotheslines, long delay suplexes. T.J. Wilson hits some big fly moves and even attempts to go for the sharpshooter. Michael Shane and Clark fights back with their own team things. Talia and Natty sort of basically cancel each other out on the outside. Shane does some cheating. Tries to hit the tries to hit the super kick. He hits it on Harry, but T.J. Wilson dives off the top rope to make the save. Gerald Clark eventually goes up top and tries to hit the 630 on Harry Smith, but he rolls out of the way. And near the end of the match, things break down, and Gerald Clark is stuck in the ring with both men, and they both hit the springboard heart attack, and then Harry Smith drops on him. 1, 2, 3, and we have new tag team champions. So yeah, after they've held the title since August, so it's time to move them over to baby faces, and give the Hart Foundation an actual big win that they've actually needed since they basically started in the company. So TJ Wilson gets a 41, Harry Smith gets a 34, Gerald Clark gets a 55, and Michael Shane gets a 65. So then post-match, of course, Harry, TJ, and Natty all celebrate to a 39 as a crowd pops as the announcers as Kevin Kelly puts over the huge win for these young stars here in Major League Wrestling. It's time. So yeah. So again, I put this down a little bit lower on the card, not because necessarily I thought it would be bad, just because I wanted the Battle Riot to be the semi-main. And so yeah, in a superb match, Nigel McGuinness defeats Matt Sydal in 24-3 by pinfall. This gets a 65. Nigel gets a 60. Matt Sydal gets a 59. So again, back and forth. Just, Nigel does his British wrestling stuff. Sydal, along with doing some cheating and asshole behavior, kicks to the knees, arm bars, beating down on Nigel's lariat arm, hitting some suplexes, going up top. Going for a springboard cutter a few times, but Nigel getting out of the way. Nigel able to hit some suplexes, but not quite being able to hit the rebound lariat. Sydal knocking to the outside, hitting a big dive to the outside. Val getting a few kicks in. Sydal going for sort of a big sort of sunset flip power bomb, but Nigel blocking it. No, Sydal hitting it, but then Nigel being able to kick out after Sydal goes up at the top and goes for a big 450 splash. Nigel fights back, traps Sydal in a submission move late, but Sydal barely gets to the ropes. But that allows for Nigel to go try for the rebound lariat, but Sydal gets out of the way, turns Nigel around, hits a springboard cutter on him, but Nigel kicks out at 2.5. Sydal goes, hits him again with a big slam, goes up top for a shooting star press. Nigel gets his knees up, stands up, goes off the ropes, rebound lariat, 1, 2, 3. Huge victory for Nigel as he's now the number 1 contender. And post-match, Nigel celebrates to a 71. Now it's time for the Battle Riot, and this is going to take a while to go through, so get comfortable, folks. So first, the announcers, quickly go over the rules again. People entering every 90 seconds. Pinfall, submission, or getting thrown over the top rope. And of course, it's no disqualification or no countout as long as you don't get over the top rope. And of course, as long as nobody from the outside gets involved. So the first man to enter the Battle Riot is Ray Gordy, who gets a big heel pop. As the announcers put over, of course, all 3 members of Dynamite Daisies will be in this match. And so as long as they can be in the ring at the same time, they'll be very dangerous. And then number 2 is Chris Hero. Quite unfortunate for Hero, as he has a long time to go in this match, and everybody will be going for him along with Gordy. But then the match starts. Of course, Hero is the better wrestler than Gordy, but Gordy does his best to fight. And then after about 90 seconds, out comes Austin Aries to probably lukewarm pop since he's not that over. Aries immediately goes after Hero, helping Gordy and take apart Hero. Double suplexes, slams, but Hero fights back with his own European uppercuts and punches and big kicks. But, Hero actually hits a big suplex on Gordy and goes after Aries. But Aries, he's able to get big Fumas on, but Hero blocks him and has him locked in a German suplex for a near fall. Again, we got 2 ropes on the outside, both counting falls, because why not? And then at the 3-minute mark, Volador Jr. is number 4 as he comes down the ring. He runs in, jumps off, springboards off the ropes, does a flip dive on Aries, and almost gets a pinfall on him right away. And that allows Chris Hero and Gordy to begin the fight again. And, they just basically, pair off for most of the next couple minutes. And then number 5 comes in at 4 minutes and 30 seconds in, and it is Homicide. Homicide slides in, attacks Hero from behind, knocks him down, which gives Gordy more of an advantage. And Gordy is trying to toss Hero, but Hero's fighting him. And then, as Aries and Volador are fighting, Homicide grabs Volador Jr. from behind, hits him with the Cop Killer right in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3, and Volador is our first elimination in a little over 5 minutes. Volador, but that doesn't stop Homicide to go after Aries, and Aries goes after Volador. Aries, fights back though, but it looks like he's about to be eliminated when after 6 minutes in. What happens is, Homicide goes after Hero, and Gordy's happy to have somebody else taking care of Hero, but then he's going after Aries, but Aries actually locks him and rolls him into a submission hold. But at 6 minutes in, Vetter, Ray Gordy's partner in Dynamite Daisies, comes in, and Aries tries, but it's 2-on-1, and they easily toss him up, basically 10-15 seconds after Vetter makes his way down to the ring. So again, at that point, it looks really bad, as it's a 3-on-1, Vetter, Gordy, and Homicide all on Hero. And just when it looks like, basically for the next minute, Hero bobs and weaves, tries to avoid all 3 men. But then at the 7 minute and 30 mark, out comes Ezekiel, and he chases right after Homicide, and they start brawling. Still not great for Hero, as it's 2-on-1, but, Ezekiel basically going after everybody allows Hero some time to slip down to the middle of the rope, for a rest, Gordy goes after him, but that allows time for Hero to slip back in, drill Vetter from behind to knock him down, and so it's a 1-on-1 action between Vetter and Hero, as Ezekiel and Homicide continue to fight on. Basically, they go through the middle rope, and they start fighting all over the ringside area until at the 9-minute mark, Incognito makes his way down to the ring, and he basically, helps. It's basically at that point, it's a 3-way in the ring between Gordy, Incognito doing some dives, and Vetter. Basically at the 10-minute mark, Gordy gets back in, and it's a little tag match situation, as we've got Vetter and Gordy taking on Hero and Incognito. Incognito does some quick dives, and then at the 10:30 mark, the lights go dim for a second, and out comes Chessman from AAA. Chessman, who, if you don't know him, basically is a painted up, big, even for Mexico, even by American standards, from Mexico, who just looks scary. He's all red face painted. Yeah, there we go. And he comes in, and he goes right after Incognito. He just grabs him, choke slam, 1, 2, 3, only about 5 and 10 seconds in. So Chessman, takes no prisoners. He he tosses Hero to the side, and then he actually chokeslams Vetter and hits a big boot on Gordy. And then Ezekiel and Homicide have brought back in the ring, and Chessman decides to help Homicide throw Ezekiel to the outside of the ring. And Chessman then goes back after Chris Hero, but that allows Ezekiel to come back in and drill Homicide with his steel chair, knocking him out. As everybody else continues to fight, including Gordy and Vetter going after Gordy and Vetter, slowly recovering and thinking about going after Chessman, but letting him tear apart Hero. When at 12 minutes in, Sanjay Dutt comes out, and he just rolls in the ring and just quickly pins Homicide 1, 2, 3, as he's still KO'd from the chair shot. So Dutt comes in and of course saves Hero, and so the next minute or so is Dutt, and Hero fighting off Vetter and Gordy and Chessman, as but near about 13 minutes in, all four smaller men decide to all team up and go after Chessman and basically, beat him down. But they can't get him quite over the top rope, but they can get him through the middle rope, at least for the moment. And then at the 13:30 mark, out comes Kushida, still in all in 80s wear, as he comes in and continues the fight. As it's come down like now it's a 5-way brawl. But unfortunately for Kushida, he gets trapped between veteran Gordy, and they throw him to the outside only after about he has a minute in the match. And then, so at this point, we've got Chessman on the outside, still recovering. We've got veteran Gordy in the ring, along with your friend and mine, Chris Hero, who has been here since the beginning of the match, and of course Sanjay Dutt. And then at the 15-minute mark, in comes Simon Diamond, as Karina marks out, says, "There's my pick." He's going to make the Extreme Horseman proud. And then after so he immediately goes after Sanjay Dutt. Chris Hero tries to get involved, but he gets beaten down too. Eventually, Chessman comes back in and it caused some chaos. And then at the 16:30 mark, the next man in, and it's just incredible. Also, the Extreme Horseman crowd really thinks this is unfair. And, Diamond Incredible comes in with a Seymour Kane, tosses it to Simon Diamond, and they both go wild, like hitting both men, hitting Vetter, hitting Gordy, even knocking Chessman back down to the ground, going after Hero. And just when it looks like Hero's goose is cooked, it looks like Sanjay Dutt's goose is cooked, some music we haven't heard in months hits as Jerry Lynn makes his return to Major League Wrestling after being injured for 9 months, and he goes right after Credible and Diamond. As he comes in he grabs a chair from ringside, and he just wallops Credible, tosses him to the outside, takes Credible's Seymour Kane, wallops Diamond, throws him to the outside, and then he then eliminates himself and goes after continuing beating down Diamond and Credible. As Carino is very upset about this and says, he's going to talk to MLW officials about this crazy man going after his stablemates. So then things calm down. Chessman comes back in the ring, and it's time for a continued battle. Vetter and Gordy, try to help out against Hero and Dutt, but again, after a couple more minutes, it's a 4-on-1 on Chessman, but Chessman actually knocks down both Dutt and Gordy before Vetter and Hero actually work together to hit a huge double suplex on Chessman, and that's just in as Junior Fatu makes his way to the ring, and he and Chessman actually begin to fight and brawl once again, as everybody else continues their fight that has been going for a while here, as Vetter, Gordy, and Hero are all feeling the effects of being in the ring for a long, long time. Well, Sanjay Dutt is a little more spry, and he's able to hit a dive through the ropes onto Chessman to help Junior Fatu out, and then go back in the ring, just as at the 21-minute mark, Averno makes his way down to the ring, and he goes right after Sanjay Dutt. They brawl and fight. Chessman comes in, and after sending Fatu through a table at ringside, and he goes after Averno, even though the room's heels, but maybe something behind them before, who knows? But just when it looks like Averno's going to be eliminated by Chessman, Fatu comes back in the ring and goes after Chessman, while everybody else continues to fight and brawl and rest and do all that fun stuff that people do during Battle Royals. And then, at 22 and 30-minute mark, some rock music hits, as Chuck Palumbo makes his debut in Major League Wrestling, and he immediately goes after Chessman, and after a couple minutes of brawling, he eliminates Chessman and sends him over the top rope. So then, a few minutes, as Palumbo is celebrating, he's about to square off against Fatu, when at the 24-minute mark, Reeves comes in, and yes, this gives a burst of energy to Vetter and Gordy, as they attack Fatu from behind. Reeves get down to the ring, and all three men eliminate Fatu. And then they go after Palumbo, but Palumbo, 3-on-1, is doing his best. When at the 25-minute mark, again, that rock music hits, out comes Maven. Maven, formerly WWE, also comes out, and he saves Palumbo. And it's a big old brawl between these two teams, as Hero and Dutt sort of recover at ringside. And then what happens is, at 25-minute, 20-second mark, Palumbo eliminates Vetter, and then a couple seconds later, Maven eliminates Gordy. Huge pop for that as Palumbo and Maven are standing tall. And then there's a stare down between Palumbo and Maven on one side and Dut and Hero on the other. There. But it's all breaking apart when Reeves, who's still in the ring, goes after all four men, tossing them apart. Palumbo and Maven, of course, are a little bit bigger, so they last a little longer. But then, at the 26-minute and 30 mark, the next man in, and it's ECMO. The destructive, violent Samoan comes in, and he wrecks shop. But he actually goes after Reeves, and they fight brawling. And then Palumbo and Maven actually come from behind and help throw Reeves out to the outside. But then only a couple, just one looks, but then ECMO takes out Palumbo. Maven tries to brawl with him, but Maven then gets eliminated by ECMO as the 28-minute mark hits, and out comes none other than Roderick Strong. Hero is just sort of in shock at this point, as he's still been here since the beginning. And of course, Strong goes right after his former tag team partner and now longtime enemy throughout most of this year, and they start fighting. All well, ECMO, is Dut tries to go after ECMO, but ECMO tosses him around, and Palumbo but then Palumbo goes after ECMO, and then of course all through this, Averno has been getting his shots in, going after Dut, engaging it bit by bit, but he's been sort of taking his time, and then at 29-minute and 30-minute mark, the Amazing Red comes down to the ring. Huge pop for that, as he's one of the top guys. And then, Amazing Red, runs in the ring, springboard, dive on a bunch of people. Then he grabs Averno, hits him. Red alert, 1, 2, 3, and Averno is gone from the match. And Amazing Red has his first elimination to a big proud pop. At the 31-minute mark, out comes Sabu, who just begins brawling with everybody. And after a couple minutes, he gets eliminated by ECMO. Too bad for Sabu, but he's not really built for a he's not really built for a what's we're looking for here. He's not really built for a battle royal. And then at the 32-minute and 30-second mark, the next to last man, Delirious, the junior heavyweight champion, of course got this spot from Akira Tozawa by defeating him in a junior heavyweight title defense, comes in, and at this point, the men in the ring are Amazing Red, Palumbo, Delirious, ECMO, Hero and Strong. Hero and Strong have battled to the outside, tossing each other in the guardrails, hitting chops, punches, kicks, and all. And then, as Delirious gets in the ring, he shares a look with Amazing Red, who then shares a look with Delirious. And then they all go after ECMO, and, ECMO fights off, but it's, a little unfortunate as they all eliminate ECMO. And then as everybody is celebrating their big win, Red and Delirious go off the ropes and hit a huge double drop kick on Palumbo, making him stumble to the ropes, and then they hit another double super kick to knock Palumbo out. To sort of a shock from the crowd, as Hero and Strong are back in the ring, and they're back, chops, strikes, big battles. When then at the 34-minute and 30-second mark, the 25th man, the debuting Trevor Rhodes, comes to the ringside, and as Hero is resting, as he's hit Strong with a big backbreaker of his own, Trevor Rhodes simply comes up from behind him, and before Hero can do anything of note, he tosses Chris Hero to the outside. So that makes our final four: Trevor Rhodes, who's just come in the ring, Roderick Strong, who's been here for a couple minutes, Delirious, and the Amazing Red. So, obviously things break down to a tag match, but a couple minutes later, at about the 37-minute mark, as Rhodes is brawling, Rhodes is hitting a big suplex on the Amazing Red, and then hitting a big lariat. What happens on the other side of the ring is Strong has Delirious up and drops him with a big second rope backbreaker to get the 1, 2, 3 and eliminate Delirious. From there, it's 2-on-1, and it looks like they're Red is going to be eliminated by either Rhodes or Strong. But as they're going for a double team, Amazing Red gets out of the way. Strong hits Rhodes with a huge lariat. Red comes out of nowhere, hits a big, second rope moonsault uh, on Strong, then tosses him through the ropes to the outside. Rhodes stumbles up. Red hits the red alert on Rhodes. 1, 2, 3. There you go. And then it's down to Amazing Red and Strong. And it looks like, Amazing Red goes for it to his best. He hits the red alert on Strong, who comes back in. He goes up top for the Red Star Press. But Roderick Strong gets his knees up. And then he picks up Red. Backbreaker of Doom. Backbreaker of Doom. Backbreaker of Doom. 1, 2, 3. Roderick Strong wins the Battle Riot. And this gets a 58 overall. So yeah, I mean, decent, not the best thing ever, but, good stuff. So, let's see here. Chessman did maybe his goth gimmick, it got initially great. Palumbo's gimmick, Brawling Babyface, got it adequate. Maven got a Blue Chipper gimmick, this got it very good. And yeah, Jerry Lynn's new gimmick of One Last Run got a gimmick of poor. And Delirious' new gimmick of Gibberish Speaker got a gimmick of great. And yeah, that's it. Was there anything of note of Palumbo? Not really. So, post-match, Strong celebrates as a crowd boos. Well, they mostly boo, but there's some cheers as, Strong is still a very talented wrestler. But overall, this gets a 50, Strong Celebrate gets a 50. Like I said, the match over got a 58, which is about what I was expecting because you had lots of, not as popular guys here. And now it's time for our main event, as it's Morishima versus Loki one more time for the MLW World Heavyweight Championship. And again, this is a war once again. Loki is ready for battle, and he's taken it to Morishima right from the start. Punches, strikes, big dives, big kicks, big roundhouses kicks, lots of martial arts stuff. But Morishima just absorbs it, and he battles back. He throws Loki around. He tosses Loki, and Loki gets close. He hits a version of the Key Crusher, gets near fall, comes off the top with a big double, a big Finn Balor style double kick on double stomp on Morishima for a near fall. He actually locks a Dragon Sleeper in on Morishima, but Morishima fights out. And in the end, unfortunately for Loki, there's no need for cheating. It's just the Japanese bulldozer trapping him, locking him in, hitting a backdrop driver, but then picking up again, hitting another backdrop driver, then grabbing him, a Lariat of Doom, 1, 2, 3. Morishima retains the MLW World Heavyweight Championship once again. This gets a 71. I'm not sure what the Amaze Impact is. But yeah, he picks him up and hits him with that as well. As he makes defense number 2 of his MLW World Heavyweight title, this gets a 71. Morishima gets a 61. Loki gets a 65. And post-match, Morishima celebrates with the title with 58 as the show ends. So overall, we get a 55, which... Oh, right, because... Okay, so what happened here is somebody who was also supposed to be part of the Battle Riot, who I signed, I didn't realize had another show tonight. So, yeah, that's what happened here is, unfortunately, the show was hurt by the actual pre-book Battle Riot not being part of things, but still a really good show. So, okay, so who gets... Oh, God. I mean, I guess Loki, Chris Hero for being in there, and honestly, Stradish. No, not Trish. Who also did a good job, I guess, in the Battle Riot, from what I can see here. Let's just give it to Amazing Red. So yeah, a big debut by Trish Stratus, lots of big debuts on the undercard during the Battle Riot, and yeah, I mean, this was a big show for debuts and sort of a restructuring of the card. One thing, again, behind the creative door here is Averno got signed by AAA to an exclusive written contract, so he'll be gone within the next couple weeks. But yeah. So Loki opinion is, I mean, it's Reese. What do you expect? And Melina Perez is money. I mean, you're not wrong. But yeah, so yeah, officially we can have Knox with Melina as his manager. Let's see here. Melina, where are you? There you are. And also Turkey. But yeah, really solid show. Again, Trish has a 76 over. That is kind of insane. And the reason why she's not in WWE anymore is, of course, cheating with Triple H, because why not? Let's see here. Let's check anything out of note. Let's see here. Morishima. Morishima's getting there as far as popularity. Let's see. Was there anybody else of note? Let's see. Was Roderick really helped by winning the Battle Riot? Let's see here. So what he says. Okay, so he's at 49 most places. So he got a couple point bonus for winning. Let's see here. How did Harry Smith get improved by winning? I sometimes forget they're not that over. You still need to get actually over, but not the end of the world or anything. But yeah, I mean, I think this was a really solid show. Lots of views, and you might have just saw the person who was supposed to be here, but was in Puerto Rico. But yeah, I mean, that's about it here. Of course, it's, our big Battle Riot show, so, not anything else for this video. Um, Hope you enjoyed this. Again, I got my Patreon. Link is in the description below. If you'd like to give me some additional support, great. If not, I'll be able to continue these series regardless. But also, again, take a look there, see if you like it or not. That's up to you. But that's it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a like. Comment below what you're enjoying and not enjoying. And of course, subscribe to the channel for lots of other TEW 2020 content, including this series, my WCW 2004 series heading towards Great American Bash with Booker versus Goldberg, my WWE 2013 series heading towards Money in the Bank, and my WWE 1994 series, which has just exited Slamboree with Rude as Unified Champion. But that's it for now. So talk to you later, and adios. Have a good one.